Irish guy. Alright, so Premier League Game Week 20 is done and dusted. Let's see the absolute weirdness that just unfolded over the last few days. This is the Prem catch-up. Right, let's go. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 2. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, before Newcastle really had a Christmas of absolute utter humiliation. Honestly, Eddie Howe's Christmas could literally not have got any worse, not unless his morbidly obese aunt came over on a Boxing Day to obnoxiously raid through his fridge before vomiting on his rug whilst he's trying to watch the Father Take Christmas special in peace. But yeah, the truth is that Liverpool just absolutely blitzed Newcastle out of the park. This is the weirdest game I've seen all season. 0 goals in the first half and then 6 in the second. Liverpool had 34 shots, 15 on target to Newcastle's 3. Martin Dubravka, so often maligned by most Newcastle fans, people assume that with him between the sticks, it's a bit like boarding an aeroplane and seeing Barney the dinosaur behind the wheel, but he had a pretty good game, even though most of the Liverpool shots were straight at him. Even a penalty. But here's my question. Liverpool fans were mostly magnificent, while the Newcastle players had such brittle self-esteem and confidence. Honestly, it was sad. It was like watching a usually magnetic personality like Will Smith now struggling to make eye contact with his dentist and trying not to cry in front of his kids whilst watching Madagascar 2. But I'm gonna say this. Yes, the Reds should arguably have been 6-1 up, but in the final 10 minutes, Sven Botman had just headed in from a corner to make it a nervy 3-2 game. In my prediction, I said that Lewis Hall would come off the bench and score the winner. And guess what? He had just entered the fray, and then Diogo Jota decides to cheat, blatantly stealing a penalty by going past Dubravka in a one-on-one, realizes he's overrun the ball with a heavy touch, and then collapses to the turf as if he'd just been shot by James Bond in the crowd. It was the most staged, dramatic dive I have seen in years, and it was so badly acted. You'd swear he'd just taken stage school lessons from Shia LaBeouf. Is this really the way to see out a win for Liverpool? Is this really how you want to win the league? But I mean, I guess some fans don't care.
Cry more. Cry more. Cry more. Cry more. Cry more.
Really? Lads, I'm not taking anything away from Liverpool. They deserve to win the game. But this is a club who were outraged by the state of officiating in this nation when Luis Diaz had a perfectly good onside goal robbed from him in your only defeat of the season at Spurs. Most Liverpool fans were saying that night that should have been a moment where we all come together to demand better from VAR. Well, they've gone and made a hideous, horrible mistake in your favor this time that benefits you, and what? I guess now it's just time to laugh at Newcastle? What happened to demanding better? Oh, are you just gonna tell Eddie Howe now to drink his tears with a chunk of lemon? I am not saying that the Magpies would have nicked a 3-3 draw if that penalty was overturned. Lads, I mean, the team were averaging a shot on target every 30 minutes. Instead of watching the match, you could have chucked on Big Mama's house and Newcastle would have averaged a shot every time I laughed. This is not the way to win for Liverpool. As a club, they are better than that. This is a club whose literal idol and hero, Robbie Fowler. He once missed a penalty against Arsenal on purpose because he realized that he had dived. He told the referee not to give it. He won an award for doing so. That is the moral compass of Liverpool Football Club at their best. But celebrating cheating, Jota acting like an opportunist rat who's just snuck into some lonely bloke's flat in the hope of stealing some toast, that is not Liverpool. As for Newcastle, oh, this is gruesome. That is now 7 defeats from the last 8 games. In that run, this is the 4th time they conceded 3 goals or more. If the team lose to Sunderland, I just know that Newcastle fans are really gonna be restless. Lads, it is stupid that there's even chatter about his job, and it's now sinking into the mainstream media too, because apparently West Ham are refusing to hand David Moyes a new deal because they're just waiting to see if this guy really will soon be unemployed, rolling out of bed at 1 p.m. and spending the rest of the day building an X-Men jigsaw puzzle in his pajamas. Although it does seem like a really lazy rumor, because for most of Rafa Benitez's time at Newcastle, he was always linked with West Ham. Can David Sullivan please stop coveting Newcastle managers? Lads, how can not be sacked at Newcastle? But I will say this. Don't lose to Sunderland, Eddie. Just don't do it. Don't you dare. Because if they do, if Newcastle lose to Sunderland this weekend, oh, just wait for the video. Just wait. By the way, just a quick interruption, okay? I am looking for an editor to take this content to the next level of 2024. If you are an experienced editor, well versed in Premiere Pro, and specifically, you know how to do jump cuts, that is the most important thing, okay? If you can jump cut well and quickly, then send in an email to irishguybusiness@gmail.com, and ideally an example of your work. So I do know that you're not just some senile old grandma who just wants a chat. I'm really want to make 2024 a revolutionary year for this channel. I want to do bigger and better things. I want to do videos where I am actually playing football and doing collabs with other YouTubers. So yes, I want to make this a big year. But for that, I need a 5 days a week editor. So if you're reliable, if you want to do this, then get in touch. Also, hit that subscribe button, you bunch of legends. Back into the video. Luton Town 2, Chelsea 3. Lads, did anybody see Thiago Silva at full time after Chelsea's win at Luton? Most people would assume that after holding on to grind out a priceless 3 points at a tough little ground like this, oh, then he'd be a bit like a 12-year-old who just realized he could make a tenner off the tooth fairy by smashing out his teeth with a brick. But no, instead the bloke looked fed up, confused, and angry with his teammates. And you know what? Good. This is an experienced Brazilian beefcake centre back who turns 40 this year. He is too old to still be dealing with his teammates, having the mental strength of donkey diarrhea. Lads, the first 70 minutes in this match was perfect. A stroll in the park for Chelsea. Cole Palmer was making the Kenilworth Road Stadium his own private playground. It didn't matter that the ground was so hilariously small that the fans could probably smell whatever the neighbor's cooking next door. Honestly, if I lived in that small house beside the ground, I would probably just go in the garden every other Saturday afternoon and just barbecue a month's supply of my own poo. Boy, well, that spoiled everybody's fun. To be fair though, the thousands of drunken supporters so you have to put up with storming past your bedroom window whilst you're trying to watch Harry Potter and drink mushroom tea in peace. You really want Bob from Burnley chucking cigarettes into your flowers and staring at you on the loo? But lads, I have to say this. Cole Palmer is a sickeningly talented footballer. But I'm not surprised. You do not survive 13 years at Manchester City from the age of 8 years old without being good. What I will say though is that I might be completely wrong here. You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but when I see him arrogantly chewing gum through interviews, his overall demeanor, he does seem like he'd be an absolute nightmare of a human being. Maybe I'm wrong, I probably am. For all I know, he could be a little sweetheart who visits his grandma 6 times a week. Maybe he does feed cookies to the homeless. But I don't know, I just get a bad vibe off the guy. He does look like someone who, yeah, if you earn less than £300,000 a year, he won't even look at you in the eye. But listen, he is a baller. And he torched Luton, but the final 15 minutes was carnage. Beefcake centre forward Elijah Adebayo came alive, had a goal harshly chalked off, then smacked the crossbar with a header. Ross Barkley heads in a goal against his former club. Adebayo did then get on the score sheet, and then it was just 10 minutes of Luton attacking, hunting down an equaliser for the incredible sustained levels of pressure and belief from Luton at the end. This match almost deserved to be a 3-3 draw. So Chelsea won, sure, but I would love to be the fly on the wall in the away team dressing room after the match. You would probably have seen naive youngsters like Noni Drake, Alfie Gilchrist, and Levi Colwill all celebrating in the corner dancing to Drake, but the likes of Silva, someone who began life in Europe following in the footsteps of Paolo Maldini, the GOAT of defending, then now he probably immediately kicked over the speakers and scolded everyone like an angry mum berating her children for throwing chocolate muffins at the wall. Nottingham Forest 2, Man United 1. Play the clip!
Nottingham Forest 2, Man United 1. I think Forest will have a monster night. Roared down by a full house. I reckon Alejandro Garnacho will give United the lead, but Morgan Gibbs White will smack in a late equaliser before Aaron Wan-Bissaka gives away a stupid penalty in the box. Up steps Gibbs White, last minute spot kick, 2-1. Just you watch.
Oh, wow! My perfect prediction for the week. No forfeit. Lads, I made this prediction 10 days before the match. I made this prediction before the Boxing Day games. Zero context, saying this 2 weeks before the actual match. Before I'd even known that Nuno Espirito Santo did have the new manager bounce at Newcastle. Is this the greatest prediction on the internet? But lads, Man United are a complete and utter mess. Here they were conceding a sloppy goal to Nicolas Dominguez midway through the second half. But then the Forest goalie Matt Turner shows the whole world why Arsenal quickly dumped him, because he's got the footballing skills of a blind elf. Honestly, with modern football quickly turning its back on goalies, unless they spent their youth playing like Zidane. Honestly, it seems like the only way to survive as a modern day goalkeeper is just to have played in such a midfield until you were 14. I reckon Turner should start to worry. But yeah, Rashford equalised, and then Morgan Gibbs White slams in the winner. That was their 14th defeat of the season. That is 21 defeats inside the last year. Horrible. Ten Hag has to go. How many more losses do you need to prove that he's lost the dressing room? This bloke needs to slink off into irrelevance. But he shouldn't worry too much. He will still get other job offers, it's fine. Over the last 10 years, the failed Manchester United managers, they don't just get blacklisted from the sport. David Moyes bounced back by getting a good Europa League gig with a talented Real Sociedad. Aloysius Van Gaal went back to the Holland job that he's had before. What? His name is Aloysius, look it up! Jose Mourinho was able to live in London again, walking into a Champions League job for a Tottenham team who just reached the final 6 months before. Even Ralph Rangnick got the Austria job. Okay, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the anomaly. And he's what, just spending his days fishing for salmon in a frozen lake, whilst probably letting a lobster pinch him on the nose to see if he can still feel pain. But Ten Hag, you'll be fine. If he gets sacked now, he'll be back at Ajax by the summer. Or if he doesn't fancy that, maybe the best he can hope for is maybe the Bayer Leverkusen job once Xabi Alonso eventually quits. Maybe But the point is, lads, don't feel guilty for sacking him. He will be fine. I highly doubt you'll soon be flinging change at him whilst he squats under a Manchester bus stop in a sleeping bag that smells of Paul McShane's piss. Crystal Palace 3, Brentford 1. Isn't it so strange how dramatically Brentford have wound up in free fall? It only feels like 5 minutes ago that the Bees were flying high without Ivan Toney. They were a bit like that recently dumped 37-year-old mum who tries to show all of Facebook that she don't need no man. She's showing you a vlog of her climbing mountains, going shoe shopping with the girls, and adopting puppies. All to an empowering Aretha Franklin soundtrack. She probably puts up a Snapchat of her watching the female Ghostbusters, despite it being about as funny as a couch. Yeah, behind closed doors. Within a month. And she's now trying to burn down her house with a match. Lads, the Bees trying to survive without Tony is like the Bees trying to survive without honey. Replace that T for a H and you know what I'm saying. That almost sounded like a rap. Brentford are absolutely rubbish. That is 5 defeats in a row, 7 defeats from 8 league games. That is pathetic. Thomas Frank was recently tipped for monster mega jobs, but I'm sorry, that run of form is sack-worthy. I wouldn't be totally shocked to see him lose his job, but Frank has tricked me before. I remember 2 years ago, the Bees went on a similar run. Again, 7 defeats in 8 league games, which turned into a rot of taking just 4 points from a possible 33. Then I was screaming for Frank to be chucked in a bin. But to be fair, he turned that one around. Well, I know he's already got a good job now, but part of me just thinks that Brendan Rodgers will be tailor-made for the Brentford job one day. Speaking of clubs who deserve a different breed of manager, lads, this was Crystal Palace at their best. Absolutely sizzling going forward. Michael Olise and Ibrahim Eti absolutely running the show. Palace have a young, hungry, exciting squad, which deserves better than some rigid old dinosaur who peaked in 2010. Can anybody possibly think how this old foggy is supposed to connect with Olise? I mean, when Roy was his age, he was watching someone walk on the goddamn moon. Engelbert Humperdinck was #1 in the charts. It was an era where Barcelona were finishing below Las Palmas in the league. Me, you, and everyone else in the comment section below did not exist. We were mere afterthoughts in your granddad's stomach. Is it too much for Palace to ask for a progressive, exciting young manager who's below the age of 50? Someone who doesn't need a dentist to yank out 4 of his rotten teeth? I know the favorite for the job right now is Steve Cooper, but I know it sounds weird me saying this, but I wonder, with the pressure off, and with the media leaving him alone this time, allowing him to work with such Palace ballers, I actually think Graham Potter would be worth a phone call. There, I said it. I'm actually being nice to Potter. That's weird. I suddenly feel like Severus Snape in the final film. I feel like Malfoy's dad's now gonna kick me in the mouth. Fulham 2, Arsenal 1. Arsenal are bottling it. Absolutely bottling it. What is going on? I've always been accustomed to the Gunners chucking away their season after Valentine's Day. But now, lads, Arsenal are actually expecting to win the title. And they've now got 1 league win in 5 games. Since that crazy last gasp win at Luton, the Gunners have now picked up 4 points from possible 15. That is garbage form. Losing at home to West Ham was bad, but throwing away a 1-goal lead to leave Craven Cottage with 0 points. Losing to a team with Willian in the... What is going on? Lads, Gabriel Martinelli had a sparkling 15-goal campaign last season, by far the best one of his career. A coming-of-age moment. This time out, 2 goals. Gabriel Jesus. This is someone who, when he rocked up at the Emirates, I remember tipping him to win the Golden Boot with 30-odd goals. Yeah, it's halfway through his 2nd season, and he's stuck on 3. Bukayo Saka has been the best of the bunch, but even still, just 6 Premier League goals, 2 of them were penalties. That is rubbish. That is such a bad level of form. He shouldn't even start for England right now. If Gareth Southgate is picking his front 3 purely based on form, then it's Harry Kane up front with Jared Bowen and Ollie Watkins on the wings. Arsenal need to get it together because, I promise you, this is absolute bottle job form. Wolves 3, Everton 0. Good win for Wolves. Next, Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 1. So, Tottenham beat Bournemouth. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Can you imagine? Lads, no. Wolves over the Christmas period won 3 games in a row against Chelsea, Brentford, and Everton. Although in the middle game, it really did look like they still had Nathan Collins on the payroll. Would not be shocked to learn that he was wearing a wire in the Bees dressing room. But lads, fair enough. Gary O'Neill has won Christmas. This has been his week. Would not be shocked to find out he also received a brand new Xbox off his mum. They have had a great Christmas, but Everton... wake up. The Toffees are having a very good season, but they're still just 1 point above the relegation zone, with Luton having a game in hand. Luton are 1 win away from me once again, stinking of a cow's stomach. Please, Sean Dyche, no more lazy, complacent performances like this. It's not too long ago the Toffees had won 4 league games in a row. Now they're on the brink of 4 league defeats in a row, and I don't like it. Ever since Amadou Onana decided to show the laid-back swag of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in a tense penalty shootout against Fulham, the Toffees have flopped like a fat penguin in the snow. So please, wake up! Tottenham 3, Bournemouth 1. Look, I know that Tottenham won this game, but I don't care. My love affair with Andoni Iraola still burns brightly in the sun. Good, professional Spurs win, but the cherries are still immense. They were brave. They had double the amount of Tottenham shots. What Bournemouth team have you ever known to turn up to the biggest stadium in England and be so unfazed that they're able to register 24 shots. 24 shots! I mean, that's probably what Bill Cosby would come back from the bar when his date only wanted a cup of lemonade. I was so impressed with Bournemouth yet again, and lads, 2024 is going to be their year. Just you watch. Man City 2, Sheffield United 0. I mean, meh. Aston Villa 3, Burnley 2. Words cannot express how important this 89th minute winning penalty from Douglas Luiz actually is. If this had resulted in a 2-2 draw, great result for Fitz and company, yes, but it would have proven that Aston Villa had a completely bottle job Christmas. To drop points at up to two newly promoted teams, sandwiched by going 2-0 up at Old Trafford and leaving with 0 points, it would have officially punctured their title challenge like a balloon. Even top 4 would have been in doubt. But no, this is such a nervy, scrappy win, but it's so important because they are still second in the league, above Man City. Important. Anyway, that's well, let me know what do you think. What did you think of the game week? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.